Go.
We are live.
Yeah, we're live.
Hola, 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 hola. Muy buenas tardes y bienvenidos un domingo más a esta sesión en vivo, esta conversación mixta. Bueno, hoy va a ser en inglés, sorpresa, sorpresa. So I'm going to do first the introduction in Spanish, then Obi will continue in English. Ok, si estás aquí por primera vez, yo soy Débora.
Y yo soy Obi Uche.
Y estás viendo el canal de Untitled. Por aquí abajito, por aquí abajo pueden ver nuestro Instagram. Bueno, un domingo más, como venía diciendo, tenemos una conversación mixta, así se llama nuestra sección, la hemos llamado así, mixta, porque entrevistamos a parejas que consideramos entran en la categoría de mixta, ya sea porque comparten diferente nacionalidad, diferente color de piel, diferente idioma, diferente religión, diferente lo que sea, ¿ok? Hoy tenemos una pareja que vienen de, no se lo voy a decir, vamos a esperar a que ellos se presenten y les conozcamos un poquito más. Solamente puedo adelantar que es una conversación muy interesante, casi más, bueno, muy interesante, muy interesante. Ok, repito, va a ser en inglés, a pesar de que tenemos, bueno, no lo voy a decir. Si por casualidad no se sienten cómodos haciendo preguntas en inglés, nos las pueden dejar en español y con mucho gusto las traduciremos al inglés. Así que vamos allá, cambiamos a inglés.
Hello. So everybody, welcome to Auditors. This is a channel where Deborah and I share our experiences with other couples, and this particular section is called in
Mixed.
Spanish is called Conocieron Mixta. In English, that would be mixed conversation. Why is this so? It's because, I mean, anything we consider mixed would be couples with mixed skin color, like Deborah and I, or couples with different nationalities, like Deborah and I, or couples that speak two different languages, different religion. You know what I'm saying? So basically, that's what this section is all about. And we create this space so we can interact to get to know a little bit more about each other. And we also have this space where the audiences can ask questions, also to get to know the different perspective of each individual and to share the beauty of our individualism and also togetherness as people with different perspective and background or whatever. So one more time, I welcome you, or we welcome you to this section. Please feel free to drop your questions if you have any. And we'll try as much as possible to mix this English and Spanish because of the uniqueness of our guest today, special guest actually. Okay. So without
saludos para todos las personas que se están conectando. Una vez más, por si acaso, repetimos, hoy va a ser en inglés, pero pueden hacer sus preguntas en español y lo vamos a traducir. Muchos saludos a todos y gracias por estar aquí.
Y por cierto, los que no hablan inglés pueden aprovechar esa sección para mejorar y aprender su inglés.
Ajá.
Bueno, vamos.
Ok, les damos la bienvenida.
Así es.
Go in English.
Okay. Let's say hello to the wonderful couple, My Empowering Life. Hello, guys.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
How are you doing? How are you feeling?
We're feeling amazing.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
That's great.
Okay.
Could you please tell us a little bit about yourselves? Who are you?
Your names, where are you from, where do you live, anything that you want to say about yourselves.
Hey guys, my name is Vanya and I'm originally from Bulgaria. And this is...
Hi, my name is Juano and I am Ecuadorian, just like so many viewers in this channel, as I know. and I am from Guayaquil. We're a couple. We live in Miami, Florida, the United States. And
okay. Okay, nice. So we have Bulgaria and Ecuador.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we usually start with the same question. Okay, guys, how did you meet? When and where did you meet?
Okay, I will tell the story. It's my favorite.
That's your part.
Yeah, that's my part. So actually, we met 2 years ago. 2 years and
A little
a
bit
half.
more.
Yeah, a little bit more than 2 years ago. 2018 actually, and we met
Okay.
here in Miami. I was on a trip. I made 5 week trip, 18 cities in Florida, and one of the cities was Miami. And because it was a solo trip, I was looking for an experience in Miami to feel the culture and to feel the city. And actually, Juano is a salsa dancer. He's a salsa dancer.
Now that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
So I was on his class, and that's actually how we met. And
Oh,
after that,
in salsa class.
yeah, salsa class. He was my teacher and
One of your teachers.
one of my teachers.
Yeah,
Yes.
And
Oh.
there were two of us.
The funny thing is that I didn't expect that I have a male teacher because in the advertisement it was his partner, which is a woman. So I was like, oh, I go on a class with a woman, and when I ended up there, there was a couple, and he was the teacher, and I didn't expect him. So we really accidentally met.
Let's say hello to Valeria, my salsa partner.
Yes.
Hi, Valeria.
Oh,
hello, Valeria.
Valeria, hello.
She's from Italy, actually. She's Italian. So.
Okay. So
We
go
start
ahead.
talking. We start talking since then, and we ended up together.
Wow,
Pretty
that's
much,
Just
yeah.
like that.
Okay. So back then, did you live in Bulgaria or where did you live, Vanya?
I used to live in Maryland, a small
Okay.
town, Ocean City. It's like 3 hours far away from Washington D.C. It's on the seaside, so basically I was on the Atlantic Ocean. So
Okay.
I've been there for pretty much, I think, 6 years, maybe
Oh,
more.
Okay.
wow, that's cool. How about Juano? What do you have to say to this?
Well, okay, that was a very short,
Uh,
a brief
it was
explanation about how we met. But the
But
thing
that's
was
how we
actually
met.
like that, I was back in those days. I was having this experience. There's a company. I don't know if I'm allowed to say about this company. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, yeah. I think it was Airbnb. Yeah,
Airbnb
right. Yeah.
experience.
So I had an
Yeah.
experience. I had an experience here, and I was working with my partner. We were teaching salsa. Basically Cuban salsa steps, basically to tourist people. And she was one of the people who came to our class. That usually it was usually once a week on Friday night. So and after we met and after we danced and after the class we start talking. And we went out for more dancing, but like social dancing. We decided to keep in touch. Like
Actually,
okay,
you decided. He was the
yes,
person
I
who
did.
was.
I did.
was
He
like a
was
sister, yeah, like coaching.
I decided to keep in touch exactly, and then we were talking, we were chatting, and she went back to Maryland, and since then we were just like communicating a lot,
and
but
traveling back and forth
and
between the
traveling
states.
back and forth. Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Wow.
I went to Maryland. She came to Miami again. It was when when the world wasn't that crazy like today. We were more allowed to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, true,
Yay.
absolutely, yeah.
So
Um,
that's what happened.
wow.
Okay. And for how long had you been living in Miami or in the US, Juan?
Well, I've been living here for a little bit more than 5 years. I would say yes, a little bit more than 5 years
Okay.
in Miami.
Mhm.
I immigrated from Ecuador. I went out of Ecuador back in 2002, I believe, 18 years ago, and I
Mm.
have been around. I lived in New Jersey, which is the east part of the United States, and I lived in Argentina for so many years.
Oh,
I've
okay.
been I spent some weeks and months between Argentina, Peru, and Colombia. I remember between those 10 years that I live in Argentina. And I finally decided to move here to Miami 5 years ago. And
Wow, that's cool.
here we are.
So let me, bueno, los que nos están viendo, muchas gracias por estar conectado a esta hora con nosotros. Estamos aquí con esta hermosa pareja, Vanya y Juano. Vanya es de Bulgaria y Juano es de Ecuador, pero ambos viven actualmente en Miami, Estados Unidos. Ellos nos han contado un poquito acerca de cómo se conocieron y que llevan como 2 años juntos y se conocieron, imagínense, se conocieron a través del baile de salsa. Así que vamos. Y bueno, les recuerdo que esa conversación va a ser en inglés por la razón, porque Vanya no habla o casi nada de español. Por favor, si tienen preguntas, que nos deja en el comentario y le vamos haciendo, y Juano nos va a ayudar con la traducción. Vamos a mostrar algunos saludos de Jennifer Mary Llanos. Aquí tenemos muchos saludos de Jennifer. Saludos. Tenemos uno más de Miley.
From Guayaquil, Maeli. Saludos a Maeli.
Y esta es de Micaela Vasconés. Vasconés, ok. Y aquí tenemos Jennifer from Santo Domingo. Algo entiendo de inglés, pero
más puedo leyendo. Bueno, así practicamos un poco, Jennifer.
Y tenemos Heckwill. Hola. Saludos, Darwin.
Saludos para Darwin.
Y aquí tenemos un fiel seguidor nuestro, Ita.
Saludos, Ita. Hoy te toca activar tu oído inglés.
Okay. Okay,
so let's continue.
Yeah. So through the conversation, there's something you said, Juano, that caught my attention. You said you were salsa. I don't know if you're a salsa teacher. Do you still teach salsa?
I used to teach salsa. I stopped dancing salsa, actually, teaching salsa, because that was like a part-time job, like a hobby thing that I used to do,
And how did you end up with Cuban? You were very specific, Cuban salsa. How did you, not Ecuadorian, or I don't know, but Cuban salsa?
Well, many years ago, when I used to live in Buenos Aires, I remember that I wanted to do something like dancing, And okay, if you are in Buenos Aires, Argentina, what would you do if you wanted to learn something, like any type of dance? What would you choose?
Tango.
Which is tango. I tried tango. I remember I tried tango back in those days, and I said, okay, this is great. I love it, But I met these other people from Cuba in Buenos Aires. They told me, okay, you should try this. Once you try this, you will never leave. Okay, I tried the dancing. I had to choose between Cuban salsa and tango, and definitely I couldn't resist it. I just wanted more,
Wow.
It became like an obsession to me in order to learn how to dance, and that's how I got obsessed in this. I remember at the beginning, I used to dance every single day, like Monday and Wednesday went to a salsa class, Tuesday and Thursday another salsa class with another teacher, and the weekend just dancing for practice, all the time. So I got this obsession in order to learn, and to improve, rehearsing my salsa, and that's how I just became. I wouldn't say an expert because it takes so many years to become an expert, but pretty enough in order to dance salsa. And when I came to Miami, I just could share all what I learned to the people here, to beginners especially.
I have to tell you that if you ask anybody in Miami about Juano, they're going to tell you he's a fantastic teacher. He's a fantastic dancer. He's just really shy to say it right now.
Okay.
Do you guys do you guys keep dancing salsa or not?
Well,
together, I mean.
Well, yeah, when we have some time, but it's not the same. I mean, this year 2020.
It's gone. It's gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
been like the worst year. I mean, I respect some other point of view, you know.
Yeah.
From time to time, we still dance.
Okay.
Yeah. So how would you rate Vaya's dancing steps, Juano?
I'm sorry, say again, please.
I mean, Vaya, how would you rate Vaya's
Vanya.
Vanya? How would you rate Vaya's salsa
Breaking a
steps?
Skills.
little bit, can you?
It's breaking a little
It's
bit.
breaking a
guys.
little bit, yes.
Oh, how about now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So my question was, Juano, how would you rate Vaya's
Great.
salsa
Skills, dancing
dancing
skills.
skills?
5/5.
Ah.
You don't want to slip out that, right?
I think about the same.
What kind of
Okay.
question is that? Do you want me to say something before? I can.
Oh my god.
Okay, guys.
That was good.
So, well, let's change a little bit the topic. Yeah. We would like to know, okay, what were your family reactions
Mm.
when they got to know that you were together? Yeah. How did Vanya's family reacted when they knew that you were with someone from Ecuador and the other way? Oy, oy, oy.
No, actually, my parents are really open-minded, and since I live abroad, far away from Bulgaria for many years,
They
I
would
think
expect that.
they kind of expected that.
Yeah.
I moved here 2018, so basically they met him through Skype. They were asking about him. Of course, they don't share their opinion with me, so they accept my choice. So they've never say anything bad or anything about him. So they accept, okay, he's from Ecuador. How is he? How is he going? How are you feeling in Miami when I moved with him? And actually, they were here last winter. They were here for
Last week, you said?
last winter, 2000
Last
winter.
winter. Oh yeah.
In December.
in December. It
Okay.
That's actually the time when they
You met.
yes,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know. I think that they liked him. There was a really big difficulties with speaking because my parents doesn't speak English.
Uh-huh.
So they were constantly with Google Translate. He was trying to he was trying to talk in Bulgarian. They, of course, were translating whatever they want to tell him, and I was constantly translating from English to Bulgarian, from Bulgarian to English.
Oh
And
my
it was
God,
really,
yeah.
it was
Yeah. Amazing.
Thank God they invented this.
yeah.
Yeah, thank God.
How was that experience for you, Juano? How did you live that experience?
I mean, as you can see, I'm a social guy.
Yeah.
I'm an easygoing guy. I just, but
You go with the flow.
I go with the flow. But still, it's not easy in order to talk to the phone and let them read the phone.
Yeah,
The
it's kind of
feedback. Yeah,
cold.
the feedback is not the same like a flowing conversation like you and
Yeah.
now.
Uh-huh.
True.
And when it's for the first time, like you don't know when you're texting or you are talking to the app, and then you show it, like a joke or something, and while they are reading, or maybe the app doesn't get the right word, so sometimes
Yeah, they are
incorrect.
confused.
Yeah, so they don't know what are you talking about, and then I go back, what's this? Oh no, it didn't get too well. Okay, hold on. Okay, the joke was over, and like it was
Yeah.
hard at the beginning.
Okay.
And
I guess.
But I think that it went very well. I think that they liked him. And the most important thing is that he makes me happy, so I'm happy with him. So that's
Exactly.
something for them. But it was funny. I would say that it was
I
kind
can
of
imagine,
stressful. At the same time, it was funny, and I was in between translating. And of course, I was guilty for everything that I don't translate correctly. So
Yeah.
Okay.
it was funny.
Nice. See, it sounds funny. And what about your family, Juano? How did they react?
well, what can I tell you? They just I don't actually see any reaction. It just happened with the flow. Uh,
Mhm.
I told them that I was dating Vanya, and they just met her. Um, my family don't live close to me. They are
Mhm.
far away. They are divided between Ecuador and here in the United States, but in a different area. Back in those days, I used to live with my sister. And
Okay.
Vanya came. We all lived together for a few months at the beginning, until then we decided to split and have our own space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but basically, I don't know what to tell you. My family, they are open-minded, and they just
Okay.
welcome
Yeah,
Vanya.
some normal. They had a normal reaction.
Nothing special to tell you, like, oh, this
Yeah, yeah,
happened.
yeah.
Mm.
No. But
Okay,
the intercultural things, that was kind of like interesting. Like, for example, these Bulgarian things that they have when they want to say yes, but they
Yeah.
shake their head, their head like this. Yes,
Aha,
Ah,
yeah.
yeah.
no. I
Uh-huh.
don't know.
Yeah, we are
Yeah.
It was
from the
kind of
world.
like,
Yes or
I'll
no?
be so
Yes or
I'll
no?
be so
So
confused.
confused. Yes,
Do you
no.
nah,
want
for
pizza?
example, you want pizza?
I'll be like,
Yes,
do you want? Ah, okay.
no.
Okay, but have you met them personally? Vanya, have you met Juano's family face to face? I mean,
Yes.
yeah. And uh-huh.
Actually, we weren't dating back at that time when I met his mom. We were still
Mhm.
talking between the states. We didn't know where we are. Are we dating? Are we not dating?
Mhm.
When I actually met his mom and his sister, he invited
Okay.
me for Mother's Day. And I remember that I met them, and they really accepted me. Um,
Okay.
I didn't feel not welcome.
Yeah, for
Okay.
Yeah.
Mother's Day, because I went visiting my mom. My mom lives in a different city here in the United States, and it was close to Vanya's where she used to live. So I
Mhm.
invited Vanya in order to,
And
uh,
actually, we started dating after that.
yes, yes.
It was
Mm.
Okay.
things like meet my family if you like me or not.
Yeah, that's a good
You want
one.
Yeah,
to stay with
but
me?
this time I guess you didn't have those communication problems. I understand your family speaks English as well,
Yes.
Juano. Mhm.
Uh,
Okay.
so we'll have this guy, David. Well, David Sebastian saying hello, and I think he also dropped a question here for Juano. Juan says, "Didn't you have a case of racism for being Ecuadorian? Is that in the
Do you
States?
have a case
I
of racism of being Ecuadorian by
I
Vanya's family?
no,
yeah,
I guess he means if
In
you
the
are
United
Ecuadorian,
in the
yeah, did
United
you live
States?
any racist experience in the United States? I understand. I
I
guess.
haven't experienced any racism. I
Mm.
mean, I would say discrimination. There are in several way of expressions. There are several ways that you can express discrimination, but I wouldn't consider like racism itself. I would say
Mhm.
something like maybe because of the language that you speak. That actually is not. I don't consider it like racism. I would consider like
mm-mm.
a different kind of discrimination, because there could be like white people speaking the same language that you do.
Yeah.
So
Well, xenophobia, we could call it.
exactly, I
So
wouldn't call it
whatever
racism,
is
but
strange or
yeah,
different.
yeah, discrimination it could be,
Mhm.
but besides
But
that,
no like the rest. Yeah.
I would never. I never felt something like that, to be honest.
Wow,
Okay.
that's really cool. What? Yeah, you want to say something?
Yeah, well, no, I wanted to ask, but I think I already know the answer. No, how many languages do you speak, both of you?
I
What?
um, I speak fluently English and Bulgarian. I used to know German, but as every language that you don't use,
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
you
kind of
start
fades
losing.
away.
Yeah. But
Mhm.
actually, the interesting thing is that German was my second language and English was third. But with the time, I just lost the German one.
Yeah, it
Um,
makes
but,
sense. I mean,
but I think that if I go to Germany and I spend certain time over there, I
you
will
pick
get.
it up.
Yeah. And of course, because Bulgarian is a Slovak language, I have a chance to understand partially Russian, Macedonian, Serbian, Slovakian, as a similar languages to mine.
Wow.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Oh my God, a huge advantage.
Yeah, that's interesting, really.
A lot.
But okay.
How about
Juano.
Juano? How many languages do you speak?
I'm basic English and Spanish.
Well,
Well,
it's not basic. It's not basic.
at least you're still bilingual.
Yes, I speak a little bit Portuguese and Italian, especially Italian. I've been taking some Italian classes, but I wouldn't consider that I speak fluently those languages. But
Okay.
yeah, I depend myself in order to speak those.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah. So talking about language, that will lead me to our next question. So when you both started dating, because of the difference or differences in language, both for, well, I know both of you speak similar language, but considering the fact that your families may not understand each other, was that at any point a hindback, like a barrier? Did you ever thought of like, oh, I think we shouldn't go into this because we're going to have problem with languages and all of that? Was that ever a second thought? Was there ever a second thought regarding language in terms of your movement or your progression as couple?
or not at all?
Or not at all? Yeah.
I didn't find it difficult or like a reason to stop seeing him or talking with him. I would say that even now there is, in a way, a barrier about like an understanding to each other in some way, because one thing is to say it in Bulgarian, one thing is to say it in Spanish, another thing is when you translate it in English and the person in front of you doesn't understand what you're meaning. But I think that it's all about communication and explaining when the other person doesn't understand it. So I found it not a good reason to stop communicating with somebody because of the language barrier. And I think with more explanations and talking, you can get what the person tries to tell you.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you. Sometimes even in the same language, we misunderstand. Speaking in.
It could be something about the culture,
Yes.
something in the culture which is actually that inherent that you built in your, you come with your culture from your country. So maybe we had this kind of like a misunderstanding because of the culture. I wouldn't say there was a huge gap between both of us, because we both share the same kind of travel experience, and we share with other cultures, and so I wouldn't say that we had a really lack of communication because of the culture.
I also noticed that our cultures, there is a point of similarities, especially in the way how he grows up and the way how I grow up. Besides their two different cultures, there was a lot of things that he experienced and I experienced at the same time.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, of course, like communication is an art. Like, irrespective of what language it is, we really have to master it. Like, facial expression, body language, whatever it is. Okay, bueno, para los que apenas no está conectando con nosotros, estamos en vivo, obviamente, con esa maravillosa pareja. Tenemos aquí My Empowering Life. Tenemos Vanya de Bulgaria y Juano de nuestro querido Ecuador. Ambos viven actualmente en Estados Unidos y nos han estado contando maravillosas cosas de cada uno de ellos. Y otra cosa, obviamente, esa sección está en inglés porque Vanya no habla muy bien el inglés. Así que el español, perdón. Así que si tienes preguntas, déjalo en el comentario y le vamos haciendo llegar a los invitados.
Ella entiende cuando hablas español. Entiende.
¿En serio? A ver, ok.
Vania,
Muy
lo que
bien.
pasa es que le da vergüenza hablar en español.
Okay, so here we have, oh yeah, Mario. Mario is saying saludos, gente.
Saludos, Mario.
Yeah, saludos, Mario. Okay, I really want to talk about, I want to continue the conversation. So you talked about cultures, right?
Yeah.
So I would love to know if there was any cultural shock, when you first met, just between the both of you. Can you tell us if there were any the cultural shocks that you had?
Or you still have some of those cultural shocks,
Of course.
differences. Yeah, Vanya.
And Juano is like thinking.
I was thinking, actually. I was thinking.
Yeah.
It's
Go ahead, Vanya.
one of the things was mainly, and it's something we struggle and we're trying to find the middle point right now. It's when to have a dinner.
Oh.
And it sounds really simple, but for example, my family and the culture in Bulgaria, we sit on the table maybe around 7, 8 o'clock, and we stay on the table with hours. You have a first the salad, first drink, main course, dessert. You sit, talk, and watch TV for hours. But you eat around between 7 and 8. While I get to live with him, and he said, that's too early. And I'm like, how is it too early? And he's like, no, I eat around 10, 11 at night.
But that's not an Ecuadorian thing.
No, that's my thing. Yes, that's my thing. Yeah,
I think it's your family thing.
It's a family thing. Yeah, it's something like I cannot have dinner just, especially in the middle of the summer when the sun sets by 9:30.
Yeah,
I don't feel like that, and I'm used to just go to sleep by 1 o'clock, around between 12 and 1 o'clock. I don't know. I'm just like that.
Yeah,
That's
I
how
understand you.
that's how I went to school. That's how I used to do. Like stay until late for reading to do the exam the next day in the morning or in the next day at night.
Yeah.
When I was studying. So I just got used to it, and that's the way. Because if I have dinner so early by 7 o'clock, I'm gonna be starving by 11.
Of course,
Yeah.
Anything, like that.
But also at the beginning, he's the first Ecuadorian that I met. So in my point of view, it's all of them. It's the culture after that.
But it's actually not Ecuadorian culture. Yeah, it is not an Ecuadorian culture.
Yeah, no, people in Ecuador, they usually have dinner around 7, 8.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So at what time are you having dinner? He forgot his Ecuadorian roots. So what is the middle point? At what time are you guys having dinner?
So we decided to do
between 8 and 9.
I'm actually flexible now. We started at 9:30, 9. Now we're having dinner by 8:30. Now 8.
Depends.
It depends. Yeah.
We're somewhere between 8 and 10.
She's forcing me to do that, so I'm
Vanya, you actually touched something I would like to ask you a question on. So could you tell us what did you know about Ecuador before you met Juano, and how has you being or living with Juano changed that perception about Ecuador or Ecuadorians?
Before I met him, the only thing that I knew about Ecuador was that it's on the equator. And I have to tell you that's really exactly what I wanted to. And first, when he told me that he's from Ecuador, it took me a while till I get where is Ecuador and what he's talking about. Honestly, that's really my first thought. But with the time, he teach me a lot of stuff about the Ecuador. I learned a lot about the native people and the mountains. I somehow missed the part that there is a seaside also, that it's on the Pacific Ocean. The main thing that I learned about Ecuador is about the cuisine, the food.
Okay.
He cooks a lot at home, and he shows me. Of course, the first thing that he cooked for me was a ceviche. That's
Okay.
how.
Oh, yeah.
That's how he
And for
gets my
most of it, it's
attention.
very popular. Yeah.
I got her attention with ceviche.
Yes.
Ah.
Actually, after the night when we met, he invited me for lunch, and he actually prepares ceviche for me. That's how.
You see,
started.
Juano is a very meticulous guy, you know, like he targeted the best moment. Nice play.
I seduce with my culture.
Yeah, I mean, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Well, actually, yes. I mean, here at home when we have like a regular meal, we actually don't have Ecuadorian food that much. When we have Ecuadorian food, it's a special day. For example, a weekend or something that something special or something that we plan in advance. That, okay, let's do a ceviche. I have never done encebollado here in Miami because the ingredients are kind of hard to
find.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
but
expensive.
ceviche, it's a little bit more easier. Or as seco de pollo. I love it.
Oh.
The fish for Eastern, the soup.
Yes,
for
but we
Eastern.
couldn't. I couldn't make it. Yeah, do you guys know fanesca, the soup that they prepare for
For Easter, is it?
for Easter? Yeah,
Yeah.
Semana Santa. Yes, it's kind of difficult in order to cook that soup because
Yeah, I
you don't
guess
find
there are some
you don't find all the
ingredients
ingredients.
difficult to find there.
Yeah.
Totally difficult. Yeah, but I'm a pretty fan of the culture, the cuisine, the food of my country. Yes. What?
Juano, the
But it was ceviche.
that's the power of encebollado, but I think it was ceviche, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, that's what I was telling, that I couldn't make encebollado since I live here.
We have another question for you.
Hola, Mario Perez.
So maybe you can answer it in Spanish, probably. And
Yeah, because Juano, if you can, please.
Hola, Odite. La comida búlgara es muy diferente a la comida ecuatoriana. ¿Será que le gustó al amigo?
Kind of.
Well,
it's about the.
It's different. Yeah, they're saying that the food are
the
different.
Bulgarian food is very different.
Yes,
So
it
¿te
is.
gusta la comida búlgara?
Okay, I'm gonna say can I say
Yeah,
this?
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Lo voy a decir en español. ¿Está bien? Recuerdo un día que fui yo a visitarla a Maryland, al lugar donde ella vivía, y ella me recibe en su casa. Ella me recibe en su casa y me dice, mira, te voy a preparar algo espectacular de la comida búlgara. ¿Está bien? Y me preparan, bueno, nada, me siento conversando, nos tomamos algo, y de repente, bueno, nada, me sirve una ensalada blanca y me comienza a explicar sobre la comida búlgara, y de repente cuando me va sirviendo y me dice, bueno, dime, háblame, ¿qué opinas de la comida búlgara? ¿No? Y yo le digo, con mucha vergüenza, no sabía cómo decirlo, le digo, pero esto me parece un poco a la ensalada rusa. Y me dice, ¿cómo sabes? Porque la ensalada rusa
es internacional.
Entonces, la comemos con pollito y arroz en Ecuador, así que no.
No puede ser.
Entonces,
How did you feel? Vanya, how did you feel?
I actually was really excited because it was for his birthday, and I was really excited. And because I prepared it before in America, and nobody ever said that they know it. So when he said, "Oh, I know this salad," it looks like a Russian salad, I was really shocked that somebody recognized the salad. I was like,
wait, I'm also lost. Is it originally from Bulgaria, the Russian salad?
Actually, it's originally from France.
I don't know why it's called Russian.
Russian.
In Spain, we also call it Russian salad. I don't know why.
But then I guess it's also typical in Bulgaria, right? So you kind of adopt it as your. Okay.
Let's do a debate about the Russian salad.
Who likes it more? Hey guys, we'll have
Someone is
some
sending
greetings here. I think this is for Mario. Do you know Maria?
Gloria from Spain. She's in Spain right now in Valladolid.
Ah,
Hello.
saludos.
Hola.
Your
Mi
cousin.
primo bello.
Okay, we'll have this greeting from Brazil. Party News. Hello, Party News. Hola.
Don't read the names.
I also have Jefferson Apollo.
Patacones con queso manchego. Have you tried
What's that?
patacones? Vanya.
Oh, I love them.
Oh, wow.
I do love them.
Me too.
Deborah is obsessed with.
Addicted to patacones.
Everything made with
plantains.
plantains.
Yeah, anything green.
I think that, well, I don't know in Bulgaria, but I guess that plantain is not, you don't use plantain.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
It was really difficult to explain to my parents when they came here what is it. So we don't have it.
Wow. Hello, Antonio from US.
Hello.
Hello.
So have you had the chance to visit Ecuador and Bulgaria? I mean, Vanya, have you been to Ecuador and Juano to Bulgaria?
No, not yet.
No.
But would you love to, Vanya? Would you love to?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I would love to. I think from whatever he shows me and from whatever he tells me, I think it's a beautiful country.
Yeah.
And the thing that I really like is that there is a lot of nature. There is a lot of mountains. There are
Definitely.
jungle, is there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the jungle is there. So
Just double checking.
Yeah, true. I mean, from a foreigner's perspective, I would say come along. I mean, come visit. It's a beautiful place. So Vanya, from what you've heard or what you've read or seen about Ecuador, what's the most interesting part for you? I don't know, food, people, language, music.
It's difficult to say. Maybe the food was the most interesting thing because I actually can explore it. I can try it. And he brings a lot of stuff from Ecuador about the cocoa, about the coffee. I actually have a chance to explore it here and taste it. So for me, it was really interesting. As I said, the nature. I actually just want to go and like hiking in the mountains or go to Galapagos Island and find it, like actually exploring it, exploring the wild. Let's face it like that. So I find this really interesting also. Maybe that's the thing.
Okay.
And how about Juano? The same question for you regarding Bulgaria.
Well, since I know Bulgaria is a pretty old country, with so many centuries of history, I would like to visit her country. Yes. Even the nature, the culture. I would love to visit the contrast. Because as you know, the different type of regimes that there were in Bulgaria, especially the communist and after the communist, bloc. And I don't know. I found it pretty interesting, in a social way and in the touristic way too.
Okay.
That's a most. That's a most.
Yeah, we have a question for Vanya.
From David
What religion predominates in Bulgaria? And have you ever had a problem with your religions? If you are religious, I don't know.
The religion in Bulgaria is Orthodox, so it's pretty similar to Juano's Christian religion.
Apollo, yeah.
Yes. You're Catholic.
Yes, I consider
Basically.
myself Catholic because I was born Catholic, but I'm kind
But
of more.
not practicing.
Actually, I'm going more like uh, agnostic.
Yeah,
A
agnostic.
little bit more agnostic than yeah.
Mhm.
So, but
So
when I'm in a difficult situation, I pray, but I'm
mm,
agnostic.
yeah.
No.
How about
No
Vanya? How about
vale.
Vanya? Vanya, do you think so?
I'm my family have never been so religious. We are Orthodox and we follow the celebrations and the traditions, but not in an extreme ways.
Mm,
Um, I'm really interesting of. I have an interest into Catholic religion more about the churches and the big cathedrals.
Mhm.
For me, it's interesting we compare according to Catholics and according to Orthodox, but it's not a really different.
mm.
Oh,
All right.
not so different in traditions and
Yeah,
celebrations.
yeah, there are
Um,
small differences. Mhm.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so interesting. So we have a must question. That's a question that we always ask.
Okay.
And well, you have probably been in this situation. The question is, so how do you think your relationship would be different, or would it be different if you were with someone from your same nationality? So let's imagine Juano is with an Ecuadorian girl, Vanya is with someone from Bulgaria. Would your relationship be very different?
Than
As
what it is.
or not? Did you understand the question or not?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Um, I think it will be different. Um, because when you meet somebody from another culture, at the same time, it's really interesting because you compare and you learn. But at the same time, it's really difficult um, because of the differences in the culture. Um, but at the same time, if I'm with somebody from my culture or another Bulgarian, it doesn't mean necessarily that it won't be difficult because we are talking about different
Mm,
individuals, you know.
Yeah.
And um, I also believe that traveling the world make you more open-minded and change you than if we compare a person who was born in a certain country and
Has never
all
been
his
out.
life. Yes. So
Yeah.
I think that in a way he is not the typical Ecuadorian, and I'm not the typical Bulgarian. So I think that it's different. I can't say if it's better or not.
mhm.
You can help here.
What do you what is like?
Okay,
I
how about
agree
you?
on I agree on what she's saying. What she's saying. I wouldn't know. I mean, I'm Ecuadorian. I live in Ecuador for so many years. Also, that's my culture, and I have friends there too. Of course. Uh, and of course, it is when you meet somebody of your own culture, there are more things that you have in common.
Mm,
Maybe the same culture, the same food, the same things that you share when you were kids, especially if you share the same generation, for example.
Yeah.
But at the same time, finding somebody with a different culture, a different country, and even in a different language, it makes it more interesting in order to discover, on the other side, what is it like, how is it going, and when this happens, and it's flowing, it makes more interesting. It makes this uh,
Adventure.
what is it?
Adventure.
adventure.
Adventure. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's a good word.
Yeah.
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 And
It's true.
Yeah.
well, guys, you are the example of this, and you
Yeah.
you have you have experienced it too.
Mhm.
Thank you. Bueno, chicos, los que están conectándose ahora, les damos la bienvenida o el bienvenido. Estamos aquí en vivo, obviamente, con Juano y Vanya es,
Vanya.
Vanya es de Bulgaria y Juano es de Ecuador. Y ellos nos han contado muchas cosas. Si lo perdiste, tranquilo que el video va a estar guardado y tú lo puedes volver a ver. Ese en vivo está en inglés porque Vanya no habla muy bien en español. Así que si tienes preguntas, por favor, déjelo en el comentario y ellos contestarán a la
como hizo
pregunta.
Jefferson ahora.
Yeah.
So this question is for Juano, and I guess you can also answer it in Spanish.
Sí, por supuesto. Yo estudié en Ecuador, estudié inglés desde que era adolescente. Tuve la suerte de que mi mamá me mandaba a las clases de inglés en la tarde, a la academia de inglés en las tardes, entonces fui aprendiendo la base gramatical y con el paso del tiempo viajé, bueno, mi familia hace muchos años vive acá en Estados Unidos, viví un tiempo en Nueva Jersey y como siempre he estado conectado, al menos en Estados Unidos, viajando y ahora que estoy viviendo acá. Debo reconocer que el tiempo que estuve fuera de los Estados Unidos, cuando viví en Sudamérica, y llegué a Miami, debo reconocer que estaba totalmente oxidado. No podía inhalar las palabras y armar una oración con la fluidez con la que ya puedo hacerlo, porque como cualquier idioma, si lo dejas de practicar, ¿no? Comienzas a olvidarlo. Pero claro, nada, es cuestión de práctica, nada más. Es cuestión de práctica. Pero
Así.
yo nací en Ecuador y mi primer idioma es el español, o sea.
Claro. Aquí Jefferson tiene, bueno, en español
sí,
aún, ¿no? Otra pregunta, Jefferson. Dice si te gusta la música búlgara. Búlgara, perdón.
Claro que sí, me gusta la música. They're asking, the Bulgarian music. Yes, I love the Bulgarian music. You know, this.
Like which one?
The what?
Like which ones? Like what genre?
Yeah, I would say like folk music, because when you actually listen to the folk music, you know, it's when you actually see the roots of the country, you know. But I have seen Vanya listening, you know, like hip hop, like any hip hop or any reggaeton that anybody can listen, but in her language, which is actually the same, you know.
Yeah.
Like hip hop or rock music, they're actually the same. But you can appreciate music. You can appreciate it. Puedes apreciar la música exclusivamente cuando escuchas la música cultural, la música folclórica.
Yeah. La música folclórica, una pregunta. The folk music, Bulgarian folk music, does it also have that volcanic influence?
Yes.
Entonces chéverísimo.
Yeah.
Volcan music, oh my God, I love it.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
And I like this Turkish influence that they have in Bulgaria. You know, especially in the music. It's pretty interesting.
All right. Yeah. So, guys, I would like you to tell us what would you say have been the most frequently asked questions to you guys, as of course you're both from two different nationalities. So when you meet someone and get to know that you're together, how do they react, or what questions what are the most frequent questions they ask you?
Or comments.
Yeah.
The most frequent question that they ask me is why I don't speak Spanish.
That's cool. Well, yeah, you know, they've been together for like 2 years. Yeah, they'll be like, and you live in Miami, why don't you speak Spanish? Oh.
Yes. The second comment is like, you should speak Spanish, you should learn.
Everything is around.
The thing is that, as you may know, there are a lot of Spanish speakers community here in Miami, especially Cubans and, well, many people from South America. And when she goes to a store or somewhere like that, you know, they think she speaks Spanish. They start speaking Spanish to her, you know, and then, no, English.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, my God.
And actually, the third question is, have you been to Ecuador? No. That's the third question. That's usually how it started when he introduced me to somebody. That's the first thing.
Oh, yeah.
The first
I mean, I guess because like she said, they're mostly within the Spanish-speaking community.
Yeah,
so
Latin
like,
community.
so yeah, I have a question is directed to Vanya. Why don't you speak Spanish? You should speak Spanish. Have you been to Ecuador? That's beautiful. That's great. Interesting. Yeah.
She's been told Argentinian,
Yeah.
Cuban too, Brazilian.
I guess like Bulgaria wouldn't be the first nationality that comes to your head when you see her. I don't know. No, right? I don't need.
I mean, in a Latin American mentality. If you are in Europe, maybe, but here, who is going to say Bulgaria?
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. Let's be real.
Who's gonna say Bulgaria?
I can confirm that I've been taught from Bulgarians that they don't talk Bulgarian. While I was traveling in Europe, I had two Bulgarians told me that I don't talk Bulgarian.
Oh, wow. Yeah. There you go. Interesting. Hey guys. So I don't know if you've ever considered this question, yeah, but do you see yourself having kids in the future?
Creating a family?
Yeah.
Creating what?
A family.
Do you see yourself having kids in the future? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, all right. So if you guys do,
I don't know, Juano.
Okay. If you do, if you do, where do you see yourself raising these kids? Where do you see yourself having your family? Is it in the US, in Bulgaria, in Ecuador, or in what part of the world do you see yourself raising your family?
Or where would you like?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I would say somewhere in South America. I really miss my culture. I really miss to speak Spanish and my daily basics. And I'm not saying because Vanya doesn't speak Spanish. The thing is, like, I miss my culture. I miss my roots. And if I have descendants, I would love to my kids to speak Spanish as the first language, if possible, because I don't know, first language, and of course Bulgarian too. That'd be like an interesting thing of raising a kid. Idea like speaking Spanish, speaking Bulgarian, and at the same time speaking English, because that's the connection between us.
Yeah, that'd be super cool.
What about Vanya? What
Vanya,
do you think?
Do you think?
Do you agree or not?
I do agree with him. We had this conversation. Of course, we are thinking, discussing about future and future plans about family. And I agree with him. I want in a way where I want personally to my kids to grow up. I can't say exactly because I didn't find my place yet. I agree with him. At the same time, our kid is gonna be lucky because he has family everywhere around the world. He's gonna be able to travel, which is a plus for the kid. So
to speak different languages.
Maybe 3 passports.
4.
Oh my God.
That kind of reminds me of one of these movies you see where they have this like this secret agent who has different passport from the world. If anything happens, he just changes it, and then that's cool. That's cool.
Oh wow!
We joke many times that we are gonna rent RV, and we're gonna travel around the world, and our kids is gonna be with us.
An RV, recreational vehicle, una casa volante.
Oh that's cool. Like this.
Yeah, we would also love to do that.
A mobile house.
Yeah.
Wow. Juano, there's a question here for you. It says, ¿hablas un poco de Quichua?
Me encantaría aprender, pero no hablo nada de Quichua.
No le dio tiempo.
No.
All right. So guys, we're coming to the end of this now. I would like to end with this question.
There are a few questions that we didn't have time to ask. No, go ahead. But we need to come to the end. Go ahead.
So I was going to leave with this question. What would you say has been the most blissful blessing and incredible advantage you've experienced, having your partner being of a different nationality? What would you say is the advantage, the biggest advantage in your opinion?
Or is it an advantage or not to be with someone from a different culture, different nationality? Is it different?
Personally, for me, it's a really big advantage. As I said earlier, for me, it's adventure. Every day is adventure. Every day, I learn something new. I experience something new, and it's. I think the biggest thing is the knowledge and the experience that you get with this person, and also your personal growth.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
How about Juan? What do you think?
Well, I don't think I personally take advantage of my relationship. I just live it. I just live my relationship, and that's it. And however it comes, I just like to live it like that. I never thought about, okay, I can take advantage of this relationship because of the culture. To be honest, no, I've never seen it like that.
Wow, that's a good way to look at it, really.
Yeah.
So
I think we're going to leave with this beautiful comment from Jose Valencia.
This is dating beyond borders against any culture difference and language is priceless. You're all blessed, guys. Thank you very much, Jose Valencia Figueroa.
Figueroa. Oh my God. Okay.
You missed the reading part, the reading class.
Okay, guys. So, well,
I think you can
we came to the end, of this beautiful, amazing conversation. It was a pleasure to meet you guys and to share this time with you. Thank you very much for coming, for reaching us to have this conversation. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Obi. Thank you for your time and your patience. Thank you so much.
It's okay.
Okay, so anything else?
Yeah, I mean, like Deborah said, thank you very much, guys, for reaching out, and thank you for being very open-minded to this, because of course without you, the guest, and the audience, of course, we would not have this live conversation. So thank you very much. We really do appreciate it. And yes, I mean, we hope we'll find a way to keep, we extend this conversation, so we keep having this conversation, Beautiful. So
someone is mentioning Juano's
comment. Yeah, that's beautiful. So guys, would have to say goodbye here. So my empowering life, thank you very much, Vanya, and thank you very much, Juano. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors. And so yeah, let's stay in touch.
Okay.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. Goodbye,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Ciao.
Okay. Entonces.
Bueno, chicos y chicas, muchísimas gracias de nuevo otro domingo por acompañarnos en esta hermosa conversación con Juano y Vania. Muchísimas gracias por su interacción, por todas las preguntas que nos han dejado y por ayudarnos a hacer esto posible domingo tras domingo. ¿Me miras, Obi? No sé si...
No.
Ok, una vez más, muchísimas gracias. Como saben, estén atentos a nuestro canal. Enseguida vamos a subir nuestro próximo video, no sé si va a ser mañana o pasado. Y como saben, a lo largo de la semana les anunciaremos a nuestros próximos invitados para el próximo domingo. Ha sido un placer tenerlos aquí y nada más, que pasen, que terminen muy bien este domingo.
Así es. Bueno, chicos, nos vemos en el próximo episodio de Conversaciones Mixta acá en esa misma hora. Así que si quieres saber quiénes serán nuestros próximos invitados,
Estén atentos,
estén
ahí a
atentos
nuestro
en Instagram y YouTube, y ahí le vamos
Somos
dejando
Auditails.
comunicados. Bueno, chicos,
Bueno,
muchas
familia,
gracias.
un abrazo muy grande, cuídense mucho.
Y hasta luego. Adiós.
Bye bye.
Boom.